Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAM Network. It is Thursday, August 10th. Frank Granito back in studio, standing alongside Kevin Coleman. Kevin, thank you again for the week. How are you doing this afternoon?
I think the better question is, how are you doing?
We're getting there. But, Kev, it is a Thursday episode today. It's an interesting Thursday episode because starting next Monday, all the teams that didn't do spring football in this past season are eligible to open up camp. So football has descended on us in the FCAC.
It's crazy. We've talked about these last couple of weeks how, it feels like we just finished up the spring season with softball, lacrosse, baseball, you name it, and now we're already getting ready for football. So summer's flying by, but that's a good thing. I think we're all getting ready for the gridiron.
It should be a lot of fun. And for more on this upcoming week of football and the upcoming season, we're happy to welcome in now Dave Rudin of the Rudin Report. Dave, hopefully you're enjoying your summer as it is finding itself winding down quicker and quicker now.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold on to a few more days. It's kind of a mixture of wanting to have a little bit more summer and a little bit of time off, but anxious like you guys to get back in the game and covering the games. Hope you guys are having a good summer. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, can't complain.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We got to do a little bit of the Babe Ruth World Series for the regional coverage, which was a lot of fun. Of course, we saw you at the Grip It and Rip It tournament back at the beginning of July, and that's where I want to start with you, Dave. All the takeaways for me out of Grip It and Rip It, the big one was how well David Summers was integrated into the system at St. Joe's. How big of an impact do you think Summers will have on St. Joe's success this year?
Obviously you take 7-on-7 with a grain of salt because there are no linemen. So certainly just watching him there, he throws a really nice ball. He seems to be pretty poised, and obviously he's going to have a lot of weapons, and number one being Jared Malazzi. So I think, and I'm starting to do a little bit of homework on teams, mostly from talking to other people right now, nothing for an eye test yet, but I thought he looked really good, and I think he's going to be a big factor in St. Joseph staying high up in the standings.
And they're definitely a team people are very high on early on. You mentioned Jared Malazzi. I think for me, you're going to see Malazzi double and triple covered at points in time this year. Phil Pesmeg is going to be a player to watch for the Cadets, and the way that Summers uses his tight end, especially coming out of that Ward system, Dave, could play a huge role in St. Joe's offense this year.
I agree, and the other thing too, and again, Jared's going to have people following him all over the field after a 100 reception season, but they're going to have a pretty strong running game as well. I mean, the one unknown, just because you don't get to see them right now, is what the line is going to be like. And at St. Joseph, they're known as the Hogs, and they're known as the Hogs for a reason, because year in and year out they seem to turn out really good linemen. So I would put St. Joseph right now, if you asked me totally blind to do a poll of FCAC football teams, I would say 3 or 4 right now.
Hey, Dave, it's Kevin here. Another chance we got an opportunity to see New Canaan at that Grip and Rip It tournament. What are you expecting from Drew Pine, who's going to his sophomore year, now a second-year starter for the New Canaan Rams?
I think he's going to take another step up. He had a great season. He's already shown he's got tremendous poise. I think he's got great chemistry. I think he's going to have a lot of weapons, too. He's got a lot of good wide receivers. They're going to be really deep at wide receiver, especially with players like Quentin O'Connell and Justin Greco, and they go about 5 or 6 deep in receivers. So, it's interesting. Shameless plug, but I interviewed Alex LaPolice yesterday, the former New Canaan star, who's at Harvard now, for my podcast, and we were actually talking about Drew, and he's actually caught with him a little bit. And the one thing, and we've seen it, but when you hear it from teammates, is just what a good person he is. This is a kid that's got all these offers, and he's totally humble. He just fits in well. The players on the team love him. He didn't come in with this attitude. He's just one of the guys, and I think that is sort of an intangible factor as well, and that the guys really like playing with him, and there's good chemistry because of it.
sticking with the quarterback position, what do you expect from Greenwich Cardinals starting quarterback Gavin Muir this year? He got a little bit of playing time last year, split time with Connor Langan. What are you expecting from the junior quarterback this upcoming fall?
I think he's another player that's going to take a step forward. I like the way he was throwing the ball as well. Greenwich is a really interesting team, just for what we know right now. And number one, it's just sheer numbers. They've got it's a big school, and John Marinelli's been doing a good job getting the numbers to come out. So there's a lot of talent at his disposal. They've got some good players as well, and I know they're very, very high on the sophomore class, and I think you're going to see a lot of younger players getting considerable playing time. And right now, I would say Greenwich St. Joseph probably 3 and 4, and I reserve the right to change my mind after I actually rely on my own eyes and not just what other people are telling me.
Well, Dave, I think there's one consistent amongst the top 5 teams in the conference, preseason-wise at least, and that's the quarterback position. When you look at Darien, New Canaan, Greenwich, St. Joe's, and Trumbull, of course, with Colton Nichols. But the big question mark there, the quarterback position at Darien right now, is Darien as good as they've been these past few years, or do you think maybe this is the year they're knocked off the ladder?
A good question, and I was curious about this. And I've actually talked to people close to the program, and they tell me you may not know the players right now in Darien by name, but this is an outstanding senior class. One person told me this senior class is better than the last 2, which I sort of find hard to believe, but if that's true, it's kind of scary. But even if they're comparable, I expect Darien to be right there in the mix. I've sort of said New Canaan 1 right now, and I've really done that based on the fact that we just know the players coming back. But I heard it, welcome to the machine. Darien's going to crank players out. And really the big question mark right now, as you mentioned, is who's going to be at quarterback. Is it going to be Jack Joyce? Is it going to be Peter Graham? They both offer different elements to their game. I think Jack can run the ball a little bit more. I think Peter's going to be, from what I'm told, and I haven't really seen him much, a little bit more of a pocket passer. Somebody who's close to the program told me that they think eventually Peter, who's a sophomore right now, is going to be better than his brother Tim was. And after what was Tim his junior and senior year, if he's as good as his brother, he's going to be a great player. If he's going to be better, then that's kind of a scary thought for the rest of the league.
And now we're at a point in time, Dave, where the depth of the FCIAC is really starting to struggle. We're talking about a league that for so long was truly competitive. For the majority of the conference, you could find a lot of teams sitting right around 500, just above, who are able to knock off those top teams. It now feels like we're in a 2-monster race. Do you see this being the year that maybe Greenwich or St. Joe's can catch New Canaan or Darien, or is it going to be on High School Road Thanksgiving this time at Darien where it's all settled?
Certainly right now it looks like, we're on that fast lane. We'll wait until the Turkey Bowl. Again, it's kind of hard to tell right now. Again, I've started talking to people. I'm told Darien and New Canaan are far ahead of everybody else. Possibly 1, 2 in the state again, though. From talking to a couple of people, I heard there are some really, really good teams in the rest of the state, and Sonia's supposed to be really good. So I don't want to go out there and say Darien and New Canaan far above the rest of the state. But right now, from what I can tell, it's Darien and New Canaan. I think there's a drop-off between Greenwich and St. Joseph. I don't know if they have the personnel to play with those teams or anybody has a chance of bumping them off. Trumbull is sort of an unknown. We know, with Nicholas, he's supposed to be a great quarterback. Everybody was pointing him out to me on the sideline at Trumbull games last year. And they have Marquise Woods back. I don't know what the surrounding pieces are like, and that's not to say that they don't have any. I just don't know right now. And then after that, I don't know really what's out there. I'm being told that Staples is down this year.
Dave,
and so
continue.
I don't know. we may be looking at about 7 or 8 teams that are really competitive with each other, not at the top of the league. I'm not sure who the sleeper is right now. I know from Grip It and Rip It, Sean Ireland's got a lot of people back, and he seems to be cautiously optimistic, but they're starting a sophomore at quarterback.
Dave, I was able to read one of your articles about Tori Bike from St. Joseph's girls soccer team, and I really enjoyed that read. And talk a little bit about what you expect from the St. Joseph's Cadets girls soccer team this year, obviously falling short in the FCIAC final against Richfield Tigers. I mean, obviously her sister Jenna was a remarkable soccer athlete. Talk a little about what you expect from Tori and the Cadets this year.
Tori's a terrific player. Part of the reason I wanted to do this is she's just a great player who just seems to get overshadowed. Everybody, she came in, she was Jenna's sister, and she quickly proved right away that she deserves to be known as Tori and not Jenna's sister. And last year you had Jessica Mazzo at center midfield, who's back. I think she's considered by most the best player in the league. And then you have Lindsay Savko, who was a 30-goal scorer, who in sports, the offensive player gets the attention and the defenders don't. So Lindsay got a lot of attention, and deservedly so. But starting to just do my homework a little bit, I would think St. Joseph is going to be a heavy favorite. I don't know. Richfield graduated 7 senior starters. They're still, I think, going to be a good team, but you don't lose 7 starters and automatically stay at the same level. So there's going to be drop-off there. I just don't know how big a drop-off it's going to be.
And Dave, just one more thing I want to mention here while we're on the topic of soccer. You obviously are known for doing a football media day with all the teams, their captains and coaches towards right before the season starts. You're adding a boys soccer media day this season. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it came to fruition?
Yeah, we're going to hold a boys soccer media day on Monday, August 28th at Bobby Valentine Sports Academy in Stamford. It's pretty much known as a baseball facility, but now that they're in their new location, they've got much more space, and they're sort of branching out a little bit. And I know they have some soccer programs going on. John Bradley, the Darien boys soccer coach, has been running some programs out of there. So I think it's one of those things where the football media day was popular, and I started it really because my site was starting up in the fall of 2013, and I just thought it was a good way for me to kind of get the Rudin Report name out there. And we've sort of added them in different sports, and the boys soccer coaches seemed interested in it, and so we're going to try it out, and I'm hoping it'll be popular. A lot depends how much media comes out, and my biggest concern is just kids aren't just standing around the whole time, and it's boredom for them. It's obviously the whole idea is to try to get the media there. Hopefully it facilitates on both sides, interviews getting done. Everybody's in one place, so the writers have access to everybody. Hopefully the coaches can not have to field 15 phone calls. And then I know we're talking right now, we've never done a media day in the winter, but I know a couple of people, both the FCIAC and one sponsor is very interested in doing a boys and girls basketball media day. So that's definitely on the table as well.
Well, if the kids are worried about standing around, we can send Kevin down there and they can rip shots at him for a little while.
Dave, I'm there. I'm there.
I'm holding you to that.
I will be there August 28th. You'll see me there. I'll be there.
Dave, thank you so much for coming on today. We're looking forward to seeing you soon, and we can't wait for the start of the season and to be back out on the gridiron with you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I know, Frank, you've getting a little procedure done. Best of luck with that, and looking back to seeing you next week 100%, and look forward to seeing you guys out on the field, and always appreciate you taking the time to put me on.
Should be a lot of fun, Dave. Thanks again.
Thanks,
Dave.
That
was Dave Rudin of the Rudin Report. You had to slip a soccer question in there.
I did. I mean,
yes. It was a good question.
It was a good question. I think the St. Joseph's Cadets team is going to be very strong this year. It was a great article to read, so be sure to check that out. And Cadets are going to be a very strong team, like Dave said.
We are going to take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. When we get back, there is a Connecticut team that is within one game of reaching the Little League World Series for the first time since 2013. We'll have it after the break on the AJN Network. Things are heating up this summer. See some of the world's best tennis players at the Connecticut Open presented by United Technologies. Enjoy food trucks, entertainment, and special events throughout the week, August 18th through the 26th. Get tickets at ConnecticutOpen.org. At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the dock shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the dock shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. DockShop.com.
Celebrate summer with fresh made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance event. Now through August 31st.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
We're back on the HAN Network here, Nutmeg Sports. Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman. Special thank you again to Dave Rudin of the Rudin Report coming on to talk football with us a little bit. And again, Kev, we are just days away now before camp starts, so it should be a lot of fun next week. But before we get to that, let's cling to the little bit of baseball we have left. Well, could be a lot more than we anticipate for Fairfield American in the Little League World Series, hopefully, as they have advanced on now to the championship game in the New England Regionals.
That's a huge win against New Hampshire, 9-4 win, going up early in that game, then tying the game, able to come back in the late innings with some big double with the bases loaded, scoring all the runs. It was a big win for Fairfield American, and it's amazing to see that these Fairfield County teams especially, and these Connecticut teams as a whole, I think, Frank, to see the success they've had throughout these past couple seasons where they've either gotten to the Little League World Series or they've just come a win away. And we're going to see that on Saturday. Hopefully Fairfield can get that win on Saturday.
They await the winner of New Jersey and what will be Pennsylvania and New Hampshire as that game progresses on. But 2013 was the last time a Connecticut team advanced to the Little League World Series championships in Williamsport. That was also a Fairfield team. They've gotten close the past few years. Now, I don't know how much of the rest of the tournament you have watched, Kevin, but this is a very talented year. There have been obviously some interesting players who have taken the internet by storm, specifically our boy Boog. But I mean, you've got the youngster out of Georgia.
5'7". What is he? 5'7", like 175 or something like that? Absurd.
He's a man.
He's a man. He's more of a man than you and me.
No, absolutely.
He's a college. He looks like an NFL player. Looks like a linebacker.
That's a guy who is going to grow. And so I don't know where Connecticut stands now compared to the rest of the nation, but the way they're playing, I think their pitching is strong. They get good relief pitching, and they hit the ball. You don't have to hit it out of the yard. Yes, you would like that one behemoth on your roster who can flip a game with one swing of the bat, but you can get by, especially at this level, with pitching and consistent hitting, which is what Connecticut has done to this point.
And it's, actually it's a good comparison is the Trumbull 14 under team we saw these past couple of weeks. And But for this Fairfield American team, you're right, Frank. I think they have good relief pitching. They come in and shut the door when it matters most, and they get timely hitting. This is a very fundamental team at the plate. They're patient. They take their time up at bat, and they get, they take little bites. They don't have that. They don't rely on that big guy in the 3 or 4 spot to hit a home run every time. They get big hits when it matters most, and that's why you're seeing them have so much success this summer.
I'm sorry, they get the winner of New Hampshire versus Vermont or Maine's winner. So that game will be Saturday at 1 o'clock. It is up in Bristol. You mentioned the Trumbull travel team. They have played their first game in their World Series tournament in Glen Allen, Virginia. Kev, you have an update on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Trumbull 1400 team lost a heartbreaker today after being up 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Hamilton, New Jersey was able to come back, and they won in the bottom of the 7th with a walk-off single to leave Trumbull out in the field devastated. Got to speak with Coach Mike Buswell. Unfortunate loss, but again, a very tough game. This is a Trumbull team that likes to play those one-run games. They like to keep it close. So, it's unfortunate they lost. They play again on Saturday. They'll be playing against Centerville, Virginia at 4 o'clock. So, it's a tough loss, but they'll look back. They have Thursday, they have tomorrow to work on, and they get back to work on Saturday. So this is a team that can't hang their head too much, and they'll get back to work on Saturday.
Be interesting to see how they rebound as well, just because it's a team that hasn't lost in a couple of weeks now, especially when you think about them running the table in the regional tournament. Let's take one more break, Kevin. When we get back, we've got an interesting story that's starting to develop in New Canaan. That's coming up next on the HAN Network.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
At Pure Barre Ridgefield, our tried and true method can shape every body and fit any schedule. Pure Barre is a total body workout using the ballet bar to perform small isometric movements which burn fat, sculpt muscles, and create long, lean physiques. Sweat away the day and get lost in the music. Pure Barre Ridgefield, located at 86 Danbury Road. Like us on Facebook at Pure Barre Ridgefield.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Bay Star and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance Event. Now through August 31st.
We're back on the HAN Network. Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman. Interesting little story developing right now in New Canaan, Kevin. They were supposed to announce the new head hockey coach for the boys ice hockey team yesterday afternoon. Athletic Director Jay Egan, no word yesterday, still no word today. You have to wonder what's going on there, but for me it's more surprising that there wasn't a clear-cut name that immediately emerged to the top when you think about this is probably one of the better positions you could inherit or step into amongst Connecticut hockey.
Yeah, this is a great position, a great hockey program, a great tradition at New Canaan for hockey. I'm surprised that even there's not even rumors of who it's going to be either. You don't really hear that around through the grapevine. So it is a little odd, to think that Jay Egan, is pushing this back a little bit. So hopefully we get some answers in the next couple of days, because I think not only is this not fair to the players, it's not fair to the community, and I think they want to know, they want answers.
And it's just, you also want to keep in mind now, while obviously the sport does not begin until the winter,
All right.
You have captains practices that the kids will host, which the coach will help organize. You usually do a boot camp in the fall before the fall season gets underway with the other teams in the conference. So they're teetering on being at that point where those events and that timeline starts to get pushed back a little bit. But again, it's just surprising that there isn't a marquee name or a definitive "this is our guy" who has stepped forward and the program would look to hire without any hesitation.
Well, let me ask you, is there a name out there that you'd like to see take over this position?
Honestly, I do not know right off the top of my head.
Okay.
I could have seen a couple years ago possibly Chris Gerwig, former coach at Trinity Catholic, and Darien coming back and taking a position like this. I think you look towards maybe the New Canaan youth system, and there might be a couple of names who know some of the players in the program and can do a good job at keeping players staying in-house, because now one of the big issues you're going to run into at any of the schools in this conference, wherever you are, players leaving for prep school or for private school, and it's, well, why can't you get what you want done here at New Canaan and then move on? So little things like that could be a deciding factor in this hiring process.
Yeah, again, I feel like if I'm a player for New Canaan hockey, I would feel a little frustrated. I would be a little annoyed. I mean, I know it's still very early, but you're right. You have these workouts you're getting ready for, because hockey season's coming quicker than you know it, and you don't want to have a vacancy in October. Not saying there will be, but
I agree.
You don't want that vacancy to be there.
I think the frustration is fair amongst these players, but most importantly, you want to make sure that you have got the right hire put into place.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that means you have to take a little extra time, so be it, but it should be made aware, at least I think, that there is a little bit of an interesting situation going on here. Let's stay in New Canaan, though. We have some pretty cool footage, Kevin. This came yesterday from the Country Club of New Canaan. A little airplane had some engine issues, we're assuming, and had to make an emergency landing at the Country Club of New Canaan. A member and local neighbor got some footage of the plane taking off from the 13th fairway at CCNC. John Kovac shared your concern too. He was pretty close to those trees.
That was really close to that tree line. I mean, that's a tiny airplane. Very tiny. It came very close to that tree line. So thankfully that plane was able to get up across that tree line, because that could have been even worse if that something bad would have happened.
That would have been a little bit more difficult. It touched down on the 16th fairway. They rolled it over to 13, and it was able to take off safely. That's going to do it for Nutmeg Sports this week. When we get back next Monday, football practices are underway. We'll get you up to date on everything you need to know. For Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. See you next time.